It's time once again for another segment of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce. Stephanie Dobson is joining me. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Hankett Divorce Law and Mediation offices in Edmonton and Lloydminster. Stephanie, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks again, Stacey, as usual.
Well, today we're going to go through some tips and basically related to finances when going through the separation and divorce process. So, we're going to go through them. I'll talk a little bit about them and then you will give me the expert opinion on what each tip is. So,
Yeah, we've got our top 10 tips.
that's right. So for the first tip, Stephanie, it is assess your financial situation.
Yeah, so I recommend under this heading that our audience starts by taking stock of their assets, debts, income, and expenses. Understanding your financial standing will, of course, help you to be more informed throughout the divorce process. So many people, when they first start, they don't even know where they have bank accounts. They might not know what their mortgage is at. So if you, in the process that we use at Hanka Divorce, we have a bunch of checklists and worksheets that you can start to work through to start taking stock of that, because it really can be a daunting process when you get started.
Okay, and further to that is to establish a realistic budget, which is tip number two.
Yeah, so I've also got a standard budget sheet that can really help you to start by creating a detailed budget that outlines essential expenses and then also financial goals post-divorce. So it's really important to be realistic about income and spending habits to ensure the financial stability of you and your family during the divorce as well as after the divorce.
Okay, and tip number three is to consult with a financial advisor.
Yeah, these tips keep building on one another. So, thinking about your budget and then thinking about a financial advisor. So, I really recommend consider seeking guidance from a financial advisor who specializes in divorce planning. So, not every financial advisor is a specialty with divorce, but there's actually certain designations that financial advisors can get that talk about divorce. So, they can help you really to understand the financial implications of divorce and the divorce settlement, and to look at a long-term financial strategy. So very often we actually use a financial advisor as part of the divorce process in our office.
Okay, and the next one, and this one is really super important, is to protect your credit.
Yeah, it's really important, of course, to monitor your credit score and ensure that joint accounts are managed responsibly. There might be some overdraft ability on those accounts, so it's really important to manage those responsibly and to prevent any negative impact on your credit. So either by closing joint accounts or closing overdrafts or capping lines of credit, and start establishing your own credit accounts to, I mean, even getting yourself a credit card if you don't have one in your own name to start establishing some credit.
Okay, and on to tip number five, which is negotiate wisely.
Yeah. So during the divorce settlement negotiations, it's really important to prioritize your financial stability and long-term security. So think about the tax implications of various asset division scenarios and aim for a really fair and equitable distribution.
Okay, and this one, which is number six, is one we speak of quite often, and that is avoiding costly litigation.
Yeah, so the processes that we use at our office is called, I call them consensual dispute resolution. So CDR methods like mediation or collaborative divorce, that'll help save you on legal fees and really to expedite the process. Because as most of our audience will know, litigation can be very costly and time consuming.
Okay, and the next one is to stay organized. Why is that important?
Well, it's important to stay organized in life, I suppose, but through your divorce, get yourself a binder, keep thorough records of all financial documents. When we're talking about taking stock of your assets and debts, you might want to keep photocopies or even an electronic folder of bank statements, tax returns, asset valuations, even communication with your ex-spouse and legal counsel to really keep things in an organized way so that you can go back and access them as you need.
Okay, and number eight is to maximize tax savings.
So there's lots of tax rules around any settlement. So it's really important that you talk with your accountant and have your accountant involved with you as you consider various negotiation settlement concepts.
Okay, and moving on to number nine, prioritizing financial independence.
So develop a post-divorce financial plan that prioritizes your independence and long-term financial security. So consider even upgrading your job skills, building an emergency fund, and planning for retirement independently because you don't have that togetherness anymore.
Okay, and the last tip, tip number 10, is to seek support. And why is that important, Stephanie?
So we've talked before about having that shoulder to lean on. It's really important to seek emotional and financial support from friends, family, support groups, mental health professionals. Divorce can be overwhelming, but with a strong support network, you can certainly navigate the challenges more effectively. It takes a village.
It certainly does. We found
Yeah.
that out pretty much every week that we speak. It always needs
Yeah.
support for one thing or another. So
Yeah.
thanks so much for joining me, Stephanie. I appreciate it. And we will chat with you again next week.
Thanks, Stacy.